Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I am so excited to present to you my colleague, Dr. Doug Gabbert, is from Wisconsin, and I met him 11 years ago, been working with him since then, and about a year ago, he calls me to say, Juanita, I have something incredible that I want to share with you. Well, first of all, before I tell you that story, let me tell you that I had been praying that morning, and I said, I need to work with a mastermind group and get really directed on the direction I will like to take. So this prayer, I go to my email and it says, call me. And I'm like, wow. So I called Dr. Gabbert and he said, Juanita, I want to share with you an exciting exercise system. Exciting exercise system. Tell me more. So he's telling me that this exercise system would flex all the muscles. It would help with angle adjustment. It would help for someone who's in a wheelchair and cannot get up and move. It could be used for anyone at any age. So I said, anyone at any age. So that means from young children to teenagers to 50s and 60s and seniors. I'm in. What is it? So he started telling me that as we age, we are losing muscle mass. So if we're losing muscle mass and we could gain it again at any age, I'm all in. So I'm excited to tell you that Dr. Gabbert, as we worked together for the last 11 years, he's a chiropractor first. And after being a chiropractor, he works with a company as the researcher, training, and is a renowned speaker throughout the US and the world, and has authored several books. So what an honor to have someone who is an author, chiropractor, and more than anything, very, very giving. And that's what and so when he called me and said, I want to share this with you, because I've been using it in Wisconsin with many of my patients, but I want to share it with some of the people you know in Chicago, I was honored. So last July, I brought him in, started using the system, and believe it or not, I am younger, more energy, lost a few more pounds, and you're like, what? So lost a few pounds. So I am honored to introduce to you Dr. Doug Gabbert from Wisconsin. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here. We've had a busy day already. I think you're a smooth talk to it. So
I'll start out with Peter until we get to the exercise part so they can see. And then we'll move the camera over here.
okay. So, okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I keep forgetting we're doing live and Zoom. So, but welcome. We're glad you're here. I'm going to give you some basic information on a exercise program that I developed. And you know, when it comes to exercise, a lot of people will ask me, what's different about your program when it comes to exercise that's different than everybody else's? So what I want you to learn tonight is we're going to key on your proprioceptor system. That's part of your nervous system that basically tells the brain where your body is in time and space. So my program was developed to help stimulate that part of your nervous system better than most programs that are out there today. So when we look at exercise, most people don't understand the value of their muscles. Now I coined the phrase, let your muscles be your medicine. See, muscles, when you stimulate them, they release things into the general circulation. These components have health benefits. As an example, your muscles make energy called ATP. You just heard someone talk about the mitochondria releasing ATP. Your muscles make that when we stimulate them, and they release some of that into the general circulation. And wherever that youth element travels, I like to call it the fountain of youth, Wherever that youth element travels, it creates a health benefit. So if that chemical lands on an artery, the artery responds to it in a healthy way. So your muscles make a ton of ATP when you stimulate them. They also make satellite cells. These are adult stem cells. Stem cells can turn into any cell, right? So our muscles make those. Some of those travel through the blood, and they help repair and regenerate other areas of the body. So our muscles do more than what you think they do. And so we need to stimulate them. Now, research done by UCLA came out just recently, but a few months ago, stating that those people who maintain their muscle mass through a lifetime, they're the ones that are living longer and more healthy. In fact, UCLA said, you know what? Maintaining muscle mass is so important that now it's right up there with losing weight as a longevity factor. So naturally put the two together, wow, what a combination, huh? Yeah, so as doctors, healthcare professionals, we have to now push exercise towards the front of the line because of how much it does for us that we didn't know before. And we're still learning about what the muscles do. Yes. So it's exciting to be there and to be on the cutting edge and doing things that are going to be helping people with the knowledge that we already are accumulating. So when we talk about exercise, what I've done that makes my program so unique is we've combined different type of fitness disciplines and put them all together. So it's probably going to be better to illustrate that to you than just to, oh yeah, yeah. So let me grab a few balls here. Now here's just a simple rubber ball.
This one works. You can kind of front of this.
Okay, stand in front of this, okay.
We're gonna take the microphone and move it.
I'll try to talk really loud. You got it. There you go. Okay. So in my fingertips, I have neuroreceptors. When I touch something, they fire off. When that something that I touch pushes back, they fire off even more. See, it's about stimulation of these neuroreceptors that charge up the proprioceptor system. It stimulates everything. It stimulates your heart, stimulates your brain, liver, organs, glandulars, hormones, what have you. It's all about stimulation. So we chose a rubber ball because it was simple, inexpensive. I can do a lot of things with it. So squeezing it creates stimulation. It also is not chained to something. See, a lot of machines are tacked to the floor, right? They don't move. I want movement. So if I'm squeezing, this ball's got a micro movement to it. My receptors pick that up. That creates stimulation. We want stimulation. So when I go into the gym, I sit down on a machine. It's called the Bicep Machine. Well, the machine is tacked to the floor. The weights are balanced for me. It takes me through one range of motion. And it's what we call a segmental exercise. It takes one segment of the body and exercises it. Well, I don't walk like a robot. I'm interconnected. I move as a whole. So I want to exercise the body as a whole, not in sections. It's better for you. And I want to stimulate as many muscles as I possibly can all at once, not in sections. See, the more muscles I stimulate all at once, the more stimulation of the proprioceptor system occurs. So that's what we've created here. Our system keys in on stimulating that system more than other types of exercises. So what we do is we put you in a position. Let me show you that. We'll just grab a chair here. So here's a simple position that we use. It's very basic. You can sit in the chair. Take your feet, point them towards the sky. Put a ball in between your knees and squeeze it. So what am I doing there? As I squeeze, I'm activating all these muscles in my legs, buttocks, lower back, what have you. Pointing my toes, activating the muscles here. I'm putting the ball on top of one another. I'm going to push down, which makes me squeeze harder here so the ball doesn't fall through. So pushing down, I'll rotate just a little this way, that way, Slowly, sit up straight, and now I'm going to contract my abdomen and hold that. So I've got this contracted, I'm pushing down, I'm squeezing, I'm pointing. You see all the muscles that I just activated in one position, and I hold that for a minute. See, the longer you're on the muscle, the more penetration, the more stimulation you get. And the longer I'm on muscles, I can get to the deeper tissues. That's important. Otherwise, if I do repetitive moves, let's just take the bicep curl, on the muscle, off the muscle, on the muscle, off the muscle, on the muscle, off the muscle. I'm not on it long enough to get deep penetration. This movement, swingy movement, I maybe stimulate 60% of my bicep muscles by doing that movement. I don't want 60%, I want 100%. So I want to put you in a position that flexes these muscles continuously for a minute. That's 100% stimulation of the proprioceptor system. So just sitting here doing this stimulates that nervous system, and you know what it does? All of a sudden my heart rate starts to turn on. It starts to elevate. Yeah, I can move your heart rate. As an example, we took a gentleman my age. His resting heart rate was 77. We had him do 2 of our positions. Now remember, our position only lasts a minute. So 2 minutes. We raised his heart rate from 77 to almost 140 in 2 minutes without moving his arms and legs. When was the last time you saw that? Yeah. So I can take people in wheelchairs. Sure. They can do my program sitting in the wheelchair. People that have back problems, knee problems, hip problems, they can do my program because you're not swinging and lifting heavy weights and doing all these other things. But again, it's all about stimulation. So this is a very basic move that we can do. Now this is warming muscles up. See, a lot of people stretch before they do something. I'm not in this stretching. I hate to say it, but I don't really believe in stretching does a whole lot of good versus warming the tissue up. See, that's what I'm doing. When I flex and hold, push, and if I moves and pushes back, I'm creating stimulation that warms my muscles up. When I get out of the chair, man, I'm ready to perform. I don't need to stretch. We had some weightlifters. These were heavy. They were lifting heavy weights. They would warm up their muscles doing this first. When they went to start lifting heavy weights, they could jump up and do a heavier weight to start with. Isn't that amazing? So we automatically improved their ability to lift more weights right from the get-go by just warming the muscles up. If you're a gymnast, what are you doing? You're waiting for your event. Instead of stretching before your event, warm the muscles up before your event. You'll be able to perform just like that, much better at a higher level. So for athletes, we've got the perfect program. Just think about it. We're dealing with micro movement. We're talking about balancing. Let me show you an advanced move here to show you what I'm talking about.
You need a mat.
This one. I'll be careful. I usually I put these rings on a rug or something like that so they don't slide, but we'll see if we can do this. Be careful. I can use a chair. I can
Somebody
use a
sit in the
wall,
chair.
type of thing.
You want somebody to sit in the chair to make it a weight?
But when I get, they're pretty stable. But when I get on the balls, I can lean on the chair.
Somebody sit in the chair. Yeah.
Don't knock me out.
There you go. Look at
There you
that.
go. Teamwork.
So now I'm on the balls. Now I'm trying to balance myself. So my proprioceptor system is feeling all this. It's just like, come alive. It's on fire right now because I'm all the muscles that are trying to keep me on the balls. So I got maximum stimulation of the proprioceptor system just standing on the balls. Now I can take other balls, squeeze it. I can put 2 balls and squeeze. tighten up my abs. I've got a lot of muscles working all at once for 1 minute. Now, when I get used to standing on this, which you will, as you get conditioned, I don't want you to get used to it. So what do? Change your position. Throws you right off. See, I want you fighting for a minute. That's maximum stimulation of the proprioceptor system. So that's more an advanced move. So you start with the basics to warm everything up, go to the intermediates, and then to the advanced. I'll end with one other exercise. See people do a plank on the floor. What's wrong with that?
It doesn't move.
The floor doesn't move. It doesn't jiggle. It doesn't push back. I want that because I want that stimulation. So if I get on this and I do my push-up position to where I can get it on top, come down, and now I'm going to tighten my abs. There we go, slack. Tighten my butt, tighten my thighs, and now I hold for a minute. I've got all these muscles firing, plus the balls are pushing back. That's felt all the way up my arms, through my hands, and I got wiggle. Maximum stimulation of the proprioceptor system. So you'll find that as you do this, position will make you winded.
Wow.
And you're like, I didn't move anything. I just held position, squeeze, and then everything else do the stimulation. So I'm going to be able to get deeper into the tissues. See, that's the problem with injuries. These athletes, high school, what do? Get in the gym, lift weights. Hey, can you bench press 300 pounds? You know, on the muscle, on the muscle, on the muscle, on the muscle. You don't realize that heavy weights like that, when I lift the bar, my major muscles grab it. Oh, but I'm not on it long enough to get to the smaller muscles deep in the tissues. If you're on the muscle long enough, you penetrate into the deeper tissues. You get to the smaller muscles. Once you get that, you get more stability, more strength, more balance. See, when I'm standing on these balls, I'm working on balance. I'm working the muscles involved with that. I'm exercising the nervous system. So if I'm competing and I push you, if you haven't been doing this, you're easy to push out of the way. But if I've been doing this and you try to push me, I'm like a rock. You ain't gonna move me. It's like running into a wall. And so all I need is an athlete to beat you. All I need is one split second to get around you and I can beat you. So we got athletes on this, facing each other, standing on the balls, trying to push each other off. Conditioning those muscles a lot of fun. All the way from little kids. Most of my patients that are standing on the balls are in their 70s. I wish I had $1 for every person who said I could never do that. Yeah, because they can't. But people with hip replacements, knee replacements, doing this. And I usually stand next to them. I help them get out the balls. I'm standing next to them. They're doing it for their minute. What a workout. So I've got seniors that are now playing golf again. They had to give it up because of back problems, hip problems. Now they're playing golf again. I've got women who they're telling me I can walk down the stairs now while holding on the rail and carrying something because they were losing their balance. See, muscles do so much for us, even in the sense of balance. Muscles support our joints. When you start to lose muscle mass that you do as you age, you start to lose stability of the joint. The weight of the body that used to throw itself more on the muscles, now that the muscles aren't there to the degree they should be, all that weight gets thrown on the joint. Guess what the joint does? It gets arthritic in a hurry because of that. Think about this, pressure. A fetus in the womb, it grows under pressure. Think about that. We never think about these things. Here we have a little fetus growing under pressure because it's contained in a sealed compartment. So this is why this is important. When the baby's born, guess what it gets hit with right away? 15 pounds of atmospheric pressure, just boom. And if it wasn't growing under pressure, it would collapse. Just fold in itself. Muscles are part of our internal pressurized system that pushes back against outside pressure. So when we start to lose muscle, we start to lose pressure. We start to deflate. People are just deflating. We need to pump you up. There's a show about that. Pump and do what? Saturday Night Live or something.
Pump up the gym.
So again, we have a program. Think about it. I have 15 positions, no more than a minute apiece. That's 15 minutes. You can get away with just doing 5 positions a day, 5 minutes. You're going to get more stimulation of the proprioceptor system in 5 minutes than you will an hour to 2 hours in the gym doing other things.
It's just a mental work. We'll have our second.
But think about it. If I charge up your proprioceptor system, guess what it's hooked to? Your metabolism. Does metabolism burn calories?
Absolutely.
What if I can turn it on? Just by stimulating a muscle a certain way, by stimulating the neuroreceptors, which are hooked to the proprioceptor system. That's why my heart rate goes up just standing on the balls for 1 minute. I think it's going to help weight loss programs. A lot.
Amen.
Yeah. So the last thing we do is we have to choose a supplement to help muscles develop, strengthen, repair, and make energy. So being in the arena of manufacturing nutraceuticals, at 35 years of experience, both on the clinical side and on the manufacturing side, I have experience. So I have the best of both worlds. I've developed formulas myself. So I know, where do you buy raw materials? How do you combine natural elements to get synergy and create more progress? So we created a product called Mitochondria. Mitochondria is made from rice. We've taken the proteins and the complex sugars and we've broken them down, we've hydrolyzed them and micronized them down into very small particles. Yes, here it is. So it comes in powder form. Now think about protein. Going in the gym, what do they got on the shelves? Whey protein, soy protein, pea protein, hemp protein. A lot of proteins out there. You know what the problem is with those products? Protein bars, protein shakes. Is a lot of the protein in those containers is damaged. Bet you didn't know that. Yeah, because they have to use heat to make the protein powder. Soybean, soy protein powder, most common protein on the market. It's got fat in it. How do you get rid of the fat? They got to use heat to get the fat out of the soybean. Then they got to dry it, grind it up into a powder, and we call it soybean protein. The heat that they use and the chemicals that they use damage a lot of the proteins that are in that powder. Whey protein, extreme heat to make whey protein. They're damaging things with the heat. So we have that problem to overcome. Secondly, you got to take that protein, you still got to break it down into smaller elements. It's not done yet. So I got to rely on your digestive system. Good luck with that. I think this doctor before me probably talked about how we compromise our digestive system. So my system doesn't work at 67 like it did when I was 22. Big difference between that and age. So that's a problem. How about stress? Anyone under stress here? How many are married with kids? We know what stress is. Stress comes in many different packages. Emotional stress, physical stress, spiritual stress. There's a lot of stress out there. I don't care how good you're eating. If you're under chronic stress, your system's not going to digest your food very well. So we need a product that's pre-digested. Bio-ready proteins that have been broken down into the polypeptides and into the polysaccharides that your body can utilize just like that. That's what mitochondria has. Polysaccharide peptides from rice, already pre-digested, already bio-ready. So my muscles take that combination, they go, whoa, thank you. And those little cells have little batteries in them called mitochondria. You got to recharge them. You know, you get a chance to recharge your cells 3 times a day. You know what we call that? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It takes a lot of energy to digest a meal.
Yeah.
So I got to look at what you're eating. Does that food you just worked so hard to digest, does it have the things to replace the energy you just used up?
We're gonna move your mic over here because there's stuff. We're gonna move you right over here.
That'd be great.
So again, mitochondria containing these polysaccharide peptides is the perfect fuel for the human cell to repair, to regenerate, to make energy. See, every cell in your body has what we call an amino acid transport system. You know what it does? When you take your food, take your supplements, those nutrients make their way to the cell wall, and you know what? They don't all just go in through osmosis. They got to be pulled in. That transport system's responsibility is to pull nutrients from the cell wall into the cell. But if the cell's not making the proper amount of ATP or energy, it can't transport very well. So if you're going to take supplements, if you're going to take and eat expensive food, you better power up the cell first so that it can grab more nutrients from what you're doing. If you're going to detox, doesn't it make sense to power up the organs of detoxification first before you throw someone into a detox? Yeah, your liver consumes a lot of ATP. It better be making a lot of it in order to do the job of detoxification, stage 1, stage 2. So again, when you look at these polysaccharide peptides from rice, yes, we chose them for the muscles, but I've chose this for a lot of other things besides my muscles. That's key to me. Let me give you an example. I had a friend who's a veterinarian in Alabama. Calls me up one day and says, Doug, I got a dear friend, he's 89. They sent him home to die with late stage Alzheimer's. He just lays in bed. His daughter had to feed him, clothe him, bathe him. He said, you got anything to help him? I said, well, I'm experimenting with these polysaccharide peptides from rice. I'll send you a couple bottles, give them 3 scoops a day. Don't change anything else. Let's see what happens. 7 days later, he calls me. He goes, where you at? I go, I'm in the country. He goes, we just woke this guy up. He's walking around. He's remembered his family. He's feeding himself. I'm going, no way. He says, way. So I flew down to Alabama. I met this guy. I was like, how'd that happen? Yeah. So again, when you give your body the proper fuel, the body is the miracle. People ask me, will this product help me? I go, I don't know. Let's see what your body can do. Here, take this. Watch the body, what it can do. It's the miracle. Yeah. So this product here, I tell people, it nutritionally supports the body's ability to do what it does. It does the work, in a sense. So I don't tell people this cures anything. Your body does. This is just good nutrition, pre-digested, bio-ready, and it supports the body's ability to maintain blood sugar levels, to maintain this, maintain that. It's the perfect fuel. Now, I've been exposed to hundreds and hundreds of formulas over 35 years in practice. I've tried to knock this product off. I've gone to manufacturers. I said, let's do this, let's try that. Tried to reverse engineer, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I took it into a university without the company knowing and said, let's see if it can actually make ATP at the cellular level. So we bought some live animal cells. We got some professors. We said, let's feed these live cells this product. We gave them the chemical, the firefly, because if the cell produces energy, it creates, boom, like fire, ignites that chemical, and we could actually see it in the dark. That's exactly what happened. We fed those cells these special polysaccharide peptides. Boom, it made ATP. Boom, it lit that chemical up, and we saw, boom, a flash. And the professors were like, how did you do that? I don't know. All I know is we did. Now, you talk to any doctor who knows anything about ATP and mitochondrial dysfunction. If you can help the body maintain levels of ATP, game changer. So that's what you have in your hands here, is the ability to give your body the proteins that are bio-ready at a micronized level that's instantly absorbed, and good things start to happen when you see that. So increasing the microcirculation. I have a program called MVPs. We're training people just like you. This is something we're going to be talking to Melissa and Phyllis about. Is how do we show you how to be an MVP, microvascular professional? Show you how to test people to see if they have poor circulation. You know why that's important? You're taking supplements, you're eating foods, the nutrients are going through the microcirculation to get to the organ. If your microcirculation is poor, you're not going to get all the nutrients through a system that's not working very well. So we're helping to improve microcirculation so you get better use of what you're taking to the target. Exercising the way we do really gets vasal motion going in the microcirculation. That's why we chose this system of exercise, to help support the microcirculation, because it does this. It has a vasal motion to it that moves blood, moves lymphs, things of that nature. So again, we put together a package deal, the exercise, the mitochondria, all part of that. And because of that, we're able to take people to higher levels of health a lot quicker, a lot safer by doing that. It's all about results. And you know what? People want it now. They don't want to wait for results. We want to feel the change immediately. We got to work with that. That's why I went to supplements that didn't matter what your digestive system, what shape it was in. It worked whether it was in poor shape or good shape. I needed that. That means we had to create elements that were already pre-digested and ready to use. So with that, that's pretty much the Total Flex program, and a little bit of information about the Mitochondria. My own personal story in Mitochondria. I went into my eye doctor. This is several years ago. I broke my glasses. So I went into him to replace my glasses, and also it was time for a checkup. He's checking my sight, comes back to me and goes, your eyes have improved by 50%. Because I've never corrected lens that much in that short a time. It's like, how did you do that? I said, have you ever heard of glycoproteins? I had a chance to educate him on glycoproteins, because we were talking about macular degeneration. We were talking about glaucoma. How does energy mitochondria fit into that type of problem? What can we do nutritionally to support the body's ability to change that? I also take this in powder form, so I put it between my cheek and gums. Years ago, I used to be able to take my teeth, I could move the lower teeth. Since taking the product, you can hang on my lower teeth. They're that strong. Yeah. I had people with periodontal disease that were supposed to have surgery. We just packed their gums full of polysaccharide peptides. I got a personal friend who did this. He's a guy, terrible gums, went to the doctor. The doctor said, here's some floss, here's this, do that. He didn't do it. So I said, here, do this instead. When he finally went back to the doctor, they looked at his gums. They couldn't believe what they saw. This doctor actually brought in all of his associate doctors and says, you got to see this. We've never seen such repair and regeneration. See, let's talk about osteoporosis. You know, everyone thinks it's a calcium thing, trace mineral thing. It's really a peptide thing. Bones are made of what? Peptides. So if you want to strengthen your bones, peptides. We've proven that. Yeah, we've got people growing peach fuzz. I used to be completely bald. Just kidding. But you know what? This is not getting any bigger. Yeah. So actually, we'll see people their gray hair will become less gray. And Juanita's experiencing that, Dr. Juanita. So again, you're going to learn a lot about glycopeptides. These are polysaccharides, polypeptides. The combination is what makes this work really well. And you're going to use it for everything. One last testimony, and then I'll get off the mic here. Had a lady, she was a type 2 diabetic, open wound on her lower leg, very common, because of poor circulation. Seen a wound specialist from a major hospital. They couldn't get that darn wound to heal up. 12 months of working on that wound. They started talking to her about amputation. I got a call from a friend who knew her. Said, what do you think? I said, well, let's put the polysaccharide peptides right on the wound, the powder right on it. Have her take it internally, and let's see what good nutrition can do as a support to the body, and let's see what the body can do with it. 3 days later, she got her first layer of healing on that wound. So we did in 3 days what they could not do in 12 months. 4 months later, the wound was completely healed. So that's what good nutrition does. And we just watch this. So again, we just tell people, hey, your body's the miracle. We feed it right. We watch what it can do. Wow, what a body God's given us. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. So with that, thank you. Let's give yourselves a hand for being here today. Okay.
Raynaud's disease. Does this work with
Raynaud's
Raynaud's disease?
disease, yes. The exercising part of it, no doubt, helps. The glycopeptides can help reduce inflammation because there's inflammation that's associated with that. I do use some other things with it, like proteolytic enzymes. I like to get right into the blood circulation and have that work with that. I do work with some frequency type units that help to create vasal motion. All that, yes, game changer. Game changer.
What is that? What kind of disease is that? What is it?
The what?
The disease that they asked.
Oh, Raynaud's syndrome.
What is that?
Like they cut off the circulation to the peripheral,
Okay.
Yeah.
which of course microcirculation would help them because peripheral is of course getting last of everything.
Yes.
It really is. You know, they did studies on microcirculation with centenarians. And what they found is that these people that were 100 years of age, what they all had in common is they all had great microcirculation. I've done testing on people that are in their 90s. Guess what I'm finding? They all have great microcirculation if they're healthy. And my dad's one of those. He's 90 years old. He's not on blood pressure. He doesn't have blood sugar problems. He's not on any medication. He's never been. He's got really good microcirculation. Yeah. None of his brothers did, and they're all dead. Yeah. So microcirculation is a longevity factor we have to look at. Muscle conditioning is another longevity factor we have to look at. You put the two together, holy mackerel. Do you see some changes? And get the energy going at the cell. A lot of good things can happen, especially the nutrients we're feeding it. Get that transport system in the cell, transporting nutrients from that cell wall. A lot of good things start to happen when you do that. So I love talking about mitochondrial dysfunction. I love type 2 diabetes. I love insulin resistance because we could talk hours on that and how to correct that through diet, exercise, and some of the other things that we know of. And we can do that very quick. So we help a lot of people, and you know what? That's what it's all about. I want to tell you, I've had people that we've helped. Dr. Heat understands this too. When someone comes up to you with tears going down their face and they put their arms around you and say, thank you, you changed my life. It will forever change your life. And that is the game changer. That is why we do what we do. And that's why I sleep so good at night. Yeah, so thank you for your time.
Just a couple more
Oh, a couple more questions.
I'll get down line. The weight limit, is there a weight limit for the box?
You know, I have people that were 265 pounds standing on it and they did okay. So I would say probably there is. I just don't know what that is.
When you're taking it, you take it, mix it with water and let it sit in your mouth to help your gums.
Okay, good question, how you take the product. I usually recommend a teaspoon a day just for general maintenance. But if I have someone who's got a health challenge, they need more nutrition, right? So I'm going to give them 3 teaspoons a day for that situation. Yeah.
In water or just under?
Several ways you can take it. I take it, throw it in my mouth, add water, organic juice, whatever, slush it around, drink her down. I like that because it's quick, short, and you know what? Some of it sticks to my gums. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Or you can take hot tea, hot water. I take a whisk it in, or you can take a baby jar, do that, and drink her down. It mixes better with hot, not so well with cold.
So I'm just putting it in my mouth, but nothing.
Yeah, you put it in your mouth. That's
I mean, no water chase, and just put it in my mouth and that's what we got to
it works because of the saliva, but water activates it.
Okay.
That's why water's important. You do have saliva, so you do get some of that, but water activates
And
it.
it's in a powder form, if you've never seen it.
In powder
Because people
form.
get in there like, is this correct? Yes.
Yeah. And like I said, I use it on open wounds and things like that to get healing.
Open wound, you can put it on open wound.
What's that?
You can taste the rice. You can taste the rice.
What does it taste like? I've heard people.
Tastes like rice.
Well,
Oh, then that-
it tastes like rice, but some people have told me it tastes like popcorn. And it does to a degree.
Think about it.
Yeah, but it tastes like rice.
It doesn't taste bad. And so if I can support them, because it's important that you guys understand the correlation between me and I.
And can you go talk to the class over there? So that you're
Let me stay up here with you, Dr. Doug.
They're
So
missing out there.
I just met this gentleman 11 years later after finding out that his product helped me win the world championship. See, everybody knows that I'm a world champion from 2011, but they don't know how I got there. And so the products I was taking, I actually learned about it through Dr. Juanita, because she was the one that introduced me to the bioscan, right? So the bioscan and the rice products is where I got the idea from. I was young and becoming a naturopath. And so a pharmacist took me over to meet her. I didn't know her. We went over to the Hispanic community, and here was this room with the bioscan there. But they was also doing an event where they were marketing a rice product, which was the purple rice and the brown rice. And so I said, oh, I could try it. And later on, what I learned is that I started taking it all the way up until my world champion track and field meet in Sacramento. I had not run under 50 seconds since college. Now, mind you, in 2011, I was 42 years young.
I like how you put that.
And I wasn't sure what the effects were gonna be, but every time, when you're running like championships, you're running 3 rounds. You run the prelims, semifinals, and finals. So I was running several races, and I had to run round after round after round. What was happening that I noticed, and I figured it out afterwards, I said it was that purple rice. It was that rice product. It was the brown rice. Every time I ran around the next day, it was as if I never run around. And I was even faster the next day. So I kept getting faster and faster each round, and this was a 400 meters. So that's one lap around. The next day, you should be sore, but I wasn't. In fact, I got faster each day. I thought I was cheating. But what I was doing is that I was taking the rice powder, it was absorbing into my system well, and it healed my body and my muscles so that the next day I would be ready to run around fresh. And I wind up going sub 50 seconds, which I hadn't run 18 years prior to that day. So what I'm saying is that it does work. I validate it. In fact, what I want you to start doing when you do the cleanse, put the product in their way.
Wow.
Because What I've done when I understood the product, this is what I did. I started to shrink fibroids, putting women on the cleanse and putting them on the rice powder. And it shrank the cleanse. Not only that, but it alleviated the menstrual cycles. Now I know a lot of you baby boomers might not have a menstrual cycle, but you know, you can tell your daughters about it. But the bottom line is that
It might come back, I don't know.
you know what? I wasn't gonna say that because now ain't nobody. They're like, oh, I ain't touching.
Just kidding.
But you know what? We helped a younger woman conceive who was barren when she started taking the products.
Wow.
My son's mom at the time, she had a damaged uterus. And she had a cardiac arrest with her first child. So she was afraid to have another one.
Wow, yes.
So I put her through a quarterly cleanse. Every 3 months, she was cleansing. And she was taking the rice powder. She got scared because this was before she got pregnant. She was scared because she didn't see her period anymore. Because the period it was alleviated. It was gone. It was just period. It was dots. It wasn't a flow. See, we think a menstrual flow is healthy. That's not healthy. That just means your body is toxic. And your body's eliminating the toxins through that channel. But when we open up all the other channels, the body didn't need the menstrual cycle at all. So no more pain, no more relief, no more drugs, and no more cramping. And not only that, but the fibroids shrank and disappeared. So I validate this product because it helped me become who I am now. But I hadn't met him until maybe a few months ago. So I was excited to finally meet the person who actually made me the person to come before you guys and give you something that Dr. Juanita gave me, the bioscan. He gave me the rice powder, and it helped me to become the fastest and the best in the world.
Give my hand.
Target, she's always on schedule. Good Lord. 5 minutes. You got 1 minute. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we should get an endorsement seal. You see, right? Yep.
Right. Oh, that's right. But no, that's a true story. I didn't make that up.
Did we get everyone's question taken care of?
Come this way, you all. All right, you all. So this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do right now. Wellness in the box is what it's called, right? If you actually want to participate in that exercise or those exercises that you just saw, as well as share in the testimonies that you just heard from Dr. Prince, right? The product is called Wellness in the Box, where you get it together. Plus the hemp MD. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get it. So you even get the hemp MD. Now you heard Dr. Prince saying that you can actually use this product, right? While you're on the cleanse. That's what you heard him say. So why not? We weren't doing any heavy exercising, but you just heard the doctor share and show you the type of exercise that you can do. So why not? But where do you find it? Wellness in the Box. Go to the website, go to the person who invited you, go to their website right now. Now, I'm believing, see, I already have mine, but I'm believing that this product may not be there when you want it, because we're going to where? Jamaica? I think it's, and I'm for sure that there's a couple people out there who are gonna not just look at us go to Jamaica and be like young and, as you heard the doctor say, this age reversal. Look, he looks amazing. Now, you heard him share that he was just standing there like a brick wall, and I was like, I might kind of test him out, but I was like, no, this guy is strong. And why not get there? So there's not a respect of whether you're a millennial, baby boomer, get that package, Wellness in the Box. So with that being said, we're about to transition into the millennial night, the millennial call. Tyreek Rogers and Sharon are about to blow it up. So feel free to transition, and it's about to do a countdown where we leave here. Everybody round of applause. Did you enjoy yourself? Thank you for joining us. And have a great night. Peace out.